Mike was kidding. The first time we actually met was in a bar.
Yeah.
Well, now I trust you more. So.
Yeah, a little more than that. Good morning, everybody. I tell you what's a pleasure. A pleasure is to come into the Hunterdon County Convention and not be able to find a parking spot.
Yeah.
Okay? It is a real joy to do that, and I think it shows a growing energy. And on behalf of the Senate, I'm excited to be here. It's an honor to be here with colleagues, my buddy Bonnie. By the way, the best state chairman ever, Bonnie Watson-Coleman. In politics, you want people that can speak their mind. Nobody does it better or more effectively than Reed Gusciora and their Assembly cooperatives. It's a privilege to be here with a lady I admire for her courage, and she is adamant on issues important to the district. I know she's already been a benefit here in the district. Senator Turner, it's really a pleasure to see you this morning. To the mayors and to the electeds that are here, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you about what's going to be an uphill fight, but a fight we're going to win, right? Because we need a change in trend. We need somebody who thinks about us, who cares about us, somebody who actually cares about the people of the state. I want to tell you a little bit about Senator Barno, about her background. She didn't have an opportunity to be here today, and that is with apologies. Mike mentioned that it's actually a pleasure that we have conflicts and a desire to be in so many places at once. By the way, is we going to get Marie Corfield elected in 16 years? Let me tell you a little bit about Barbara. She's like us. She's not only just I'll say a regular person. She grew up, she's the daughter of an immigrant. If you didn't have an opportunity, you haven't seen her story, father was a butcher. She tells often about the fact that she had the opportunities through public education to obtain an education. She went to Montclair State, she graduated Rutgers Law. But during the way, she learned about the lessons of life. She literally didn't have a place to stay. She was homeless for a short period in her life. She called the welfare office to look for food stamps and help. She knows what it's like to be hungry. She's lived that life. She's had the opportunity through education, through hard work. She was elected in the State Assembly in 1994, worked her way up to the Senate, where she became an impassioned leader, and especially in terms of her service as chairman of the Senate Budget and Appropriations Committee, fought for everyday people each and every time, but with compassion. When the economy changed in 2008 and 2009, when we began debates in Trenton about where to cut and how to do it, Senator Bono led the fight for $4.5 billion in cuts that didn't affect people who needed things like an earned income tax credit, who needed things like a livable wage. She found the right places and the right priorities. That's why I'm proud to be here today, because she's somebody I believe in, because I've seen her leadership and her service. She's a regular, I like to say, down-home folk who actually understands what it's like to live the everyday experience that is New Jersey. And she's working hard. I know people don't believe that this is a winnable campaign. We're from Hunterdon County, right? Every campaign is winnable, right? Where are we used to? How do we do it? This is what I really like to talk to you about. Incumbent elections are always about the incumbent. And this one's doing very well right now. And he will do well. Because quite frankly, it hasn't been analyzed and it hasn't been fought back in a way that's organized, grassroots, and fundamental about him. The debate needs to change. This campaign will be about Chris Christie and a viable alternative to Chris Christie in terms of priorities and values. Everybody here know somebody's unemployed? I do. Anybody here know somebody's unemployed? Yeah. Anybody here know somebody who's taken a cut in pay over the past couple of years just to keep their job? Right? The reality is in New Jersey, the economy is still the struggle. Now the governor just wants you to believe it was all about a storm last November, or last October. It wasn't. It's about 4 years of a record. 4 years of a record of cuts. The governor touts, for example, how many of us believe in education as a stepping stone for people? Right? The governor touts, for example, that this budget has the most aid in any of his budgets for education. But it's 30% less, 20% less than John Corzine's last budget. There, I said it, John Corzine's last budget. I mean, the reality is the priorities are different. We're begging for him to give things back that he's already taken. And that's not what how this is going to work for the next 7 months till we get to November. 6 months now, right? By the way, what day is election day? November what? Oh, God. It's 6 months. 6 months. We actually have a day countdown in the headquarters. I know all of us enjoy those day countdowns. Here's the thing. Election's going to be about this. It's going to be about the economy. It's going to be about unemployment. It's going to be about property taxes. And it's going to be about Chris Christie's record on the priorities that matter to New Jerseyans. Let's talk about unemployment and the economy. Anybody think our economy has improved over the past 3 years in the state?
No.
Everybody waiting for the trickle down? All right? Millionaires are, don't worry, they're going to get to us. They're going to get to the rest of us. The reality is that hasn't happened and it won't happen. Unemployment in this state, as you all know, has been a consistent problem that is yet to change. All of us know people who raised our hands, whether they're underemployed, whether they're hanging on to their job, or whether they're still looking for one after 12 and 24 months worth of effort. That is fundamental to what this election will be about. It's not only just about unemployment, it's also about a living wage for people that can actually earn it. We've seen far too many people talk about job creation. The governor will tell you he created over 100,000 private jobs. I got to tell you, I don't want my kid working at Walmart when he's 40. Okay? The reality is you want, no picking on Walmart, I want opportunities that are there in good jobs and in good growth sector. How do you do that? You partner with you partner with colleges and universities. You create research opportunities that actually keep good paying jobs here in the state. That's what Senator Bono will do when she's Governor Bono. By the way, how cool is it to have a female nominee?
Awesome.
All right, for the Democratic Party. We're not promoting it because Barbara's going to stand on her own 2 feet, but I think it's really damn cool. Okay, I admit it. I'm off a little bit because I want to focus in on how we actually win this. Democratic values are what's going to matter. And let's use a couple of examples. This governor, and I know who offended Shirley and Reed and Bonnie so much, was delighted to veto a minimum wage, where you folks took the leadership. Now it'll be on the ballot. Imagine 7 1/4. That's 7 1/4 going in New Jersey these days. Right? We saw the president take the leadership. We see what it is. Another area of controversy that there'll be a separation of issues on will be the terrible tragedies that we've seen around this country, whether it was in Aurora, Fort Hood, or most recently in Newtown. So many people believe that gun safety should be part of what New Jersey's about in 2013. We've seen the Assembly take some bills up. We know the Senate will also take their due diligence as well. The governor doesn't want to do anything about that. He'd prefer we don't talk about it, because he does have a conflict. He wants to be Governor Christie in 2013, but he wants to be President Christie in 2016. Let's make sure he's not Governor Christie in 2014, and we'll solve both problems. All right? The question is, how do we win? This is what people ask me all the time. How do you win? You're X amount of points behind, how do you do it? We do it the way you do it here, when you work and you focus and you concentrate. The first thing we have to do is bring Democrats back. Right? The reality is almost half our party, for some reason or another, thinks Chris Christie is an acceptable alternative. Most of that, I have to tell you, is because we have not had, and it's no insult to anybody, but we have not had an organized voice speaking on behalf of the Democratic message for the past couple of years. His people, Christie's people, do an excellent job. You don't take any, I take no credit away from them. They do an excellent job at getting their message out. It's our job now to get ours. And when we do, and when we talk to Democrats about the things I just talked to you about, the economy's performance, unemployment, real people, minimum wage, things that matter to people, cuts in women's health care. How's cuts in women's health care going over by what's in common? Right? Not too well. Earned income tax credit. Things that matter in terms of priorities in people's lives. When we do that, Democrats come home. So how do we win? First thing we've got to do is we've got to bring our own people back. And how are we going to do that? I can tell you, we're organized. We will be even more organized. We're knocking on doors, we'll be touching phones. Most importantly, we're going to slay the giant. And we're going to do it with your help. We're going to do it with your help. We're going to do it one-to-one. We talk about elections here all the time, and everybody's afraid, oh my God, the top of the ballot, Chris Christie's so wonderful, oh my God, how should we do this? I don't care who's carrying the message, carry it this way. We've got an outstanding leader at the top of the ticket. We've got passionate people below. We've got passionate people in this party. And together, we're going to change the direction of this state. That's why I'm proud to be here today. That's why I'm proud to tell you Barbara Bono will be the next governor of the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.